All right, it's gonna be a great day today. Let's go ahead and start with some muffins. Let's start baking today. I'm in the mood to bake. So for these muffins, again, another way that I can get my kids something in their lunchbox that isn't completely unhealthy, but it's kind of healthy, and they'll eat it. So that's the parent survival mode I am continuously in, is just keep them alive. All right, so first of all, let's start with our dry ingredients. These are my chocolate chip zucchini muffins, and they're gonna have a little turbinado sugar over the top to entice everybody because they're crunchy and delicious. But the zucchini in there, a little coconut oil. You can use whole wheat flour if you want, regular or whole wheat. I do it either way. But we're gonna start with some flour, and we're gonna add some brown sugar. I've made this with white sugar before too, and the brown sugar just, I don't know, those molasses flavors are just lovely. It's not like zucchini adds a ton of flavor, so we're adding flavor everywhere else. Zucchini adds some nutrients and some moisture. So to this, I'm gonna go ahead and add some baking powder and a lot of cinnamon, and then about, I'd say 3/4 teaspoon salt. I just eyeball it, which is why I'm not a pastry chef. You all know this. Just throw stuff in and see what happens. I always like when people ask me, do you ever make a mistake or do recipes ever not turn out? Yes. More than I care to say. But that's because I'm always experimenting and seeing what works and what doesn't. But yes, absolutely. Okay, dry ingredients, good to go. Now, I'm gonna do my wet ingredients here. We're gonna start with a little of our Lamers whole milk, about 1/2 cup. And then we're gonna add in our coconut oil. Now, coconut oil, when you get it, it's solid. It looks like a big white solid blob. All you gotta do is throw it in the microwave for a second and it just melts right down. If you're not a coconut oil person or you happen to not have any, do not stress. Vegetable oil, canola oil, it works. It all works. So don't stress yourself out. Use what you got. These are the muffins I make when I'm trying to figure out what do I have in the house. All right, so now I'm gonna add in the Greek yogurt. This is gonna, I just do a little bit of coconut oil because this is really gonna add in the moisture I'm looking for, the flavor. Now, I make this with vanilla or with plain. When you do plain, it's just a little less sweet. The vanilla is gonna keep it a little sweeter, so whatever you like, whatever you got in the house. I think today, is this just plain, Sarah? We're just using plain today, huh? Perfect. And then we also want to get an egg in here. Just one egg because that Greek yogurt will do its job. And of course, we need to do a little bit of vanilla. Just a dash. All right, so let's give that a good whisk. Make sure that gets combined well. And then we'll focus on our zucchini. This is one of those recipes, like I said, you don't taste it. It just adds moisture and nutrients, but it's not necessarily zucchini muffin. It is more on the sweet brunch feel. And great for lunch boxes. Now, let's go ahead and grate some up. Now, a lot of times when you're using zucchini, you have to squeeze it. Okay, calm down. You gotta squeeze it in the paper towel, get all the moisture out of it. You don't need to. This just goes right in. Makes life easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and grate this up. I just use a medium zucchini. And if you happen to not have zucchini or you only have a small one, just use what you got. If you don't have one, then they just become chocolate chip muffins and you're fine. Can't ruin it. All right, we're good there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and stir this in to my dry ingredients, which seems weird, but that's how I do it. Dry ingredients going in. And I'm gonna put my chocolate chips in here too. So I haven't had to make a lot of muffins lately. My son Jack, who has taken his cold lunch basically his entire life, now is taking hot lunch more and more. I can't begin to tell you how exciting this is. It saves me a lot of time in the morning, I'm not gonna lie. And then Luke is a peanut butter and jelly kid lately, so I haven't had to make a lot of muffins lately, which is weird because I spent the first, 8 years of their lives making muffins every single Sunday for their lunch boxes. So I'm actually kind of excited to make this today because it's been a minute since I've had these. So the reason I add the zucchini into the flour mixture is because it's gonna coat that zucchini in the flour, keep it from sinking to the bottom of the muffin, kind of soak up any of the extra moisture that it has instead of whisking it into the wet ingredients. Okay, and then we're gonna take our wet ingredients and just add those right in. Super easy. I'm a person who always has some sort of plain Greek yogurt in my fridge at all times, because I find it takes the place of sour cream. If I'm out of sour cream, it's easy to make quick dips out of. Lately for lunch, I've been just taking like Hidden Valley Ranch, the powder, and just adding it to plain Greek yogurt with a little salt and dipping vegetables in it. It's just like a healthy ranch dip that's high in protein. Anyway, I always seem to have, excuse me, itch on my eye. I always seem to add the Greek yogurt laying around. So that's why you see a lot of my baked goods often have the Greek yogurt in them. So this is a thick batter. So just make sure you get all the flour off the bottom, but you don't need a mixer or anything. You just do it with your hands. And my oven is preheated to 425 degrees. For the 425 degrees, what that's going to do is it's going to shock the system, get a nice rise and golden crust, but after 8 minutes, we're going to turn the oven down to 350, and then we're going to just bake them for like 12 to 14 minutes until they're nice and golden on the top. All right, I think I got most of it here. Like I said, this is a thick, dry batter, so really make sure to get the bottom there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and let me get my messy stuff out of the way here. I'm going to grab my muffin tin, and this is one of those recipes that makes no sense. I'm going to tell you why. Like many recipes, muffin recipes, this recipe should make 12 perfect muffins. What happens? You always end up with 1 or 2 extra, but then sometimes you don't. But then sometimes you do. But then those other days where you don't. It makes no sense. You might end up with 12 perfect ones. You might end up with 13 or 14. I can't tell you. I don't know. It's just the way it goes with muffins. And then I like to take my scooper right through, about 2/3 of the way full, a little bit more. And then, you know, this is where you got to go a little overboard. You don't have to, but that crunchy turbinado sugar over the top, so delicious. Now, I'm going to fill these up, but I want to show you what these look like when they come out. And then I'll get those in the oven for the crew here. I made a mess today. This is what they look like when they come out, and they've got that golden crunch on the top that I love, and then the zucchini just studded through the whole thing, but melty chocolate chips. You got the crunch. The zucchini is studded through, but it shrunk down, so all it did was add that moisture. Absolutely delicious. I am going to snack on this now.